Good evening, Don Palayo here, checking in with you guys this evening. Today is May 12th? Today's Monday. That's right. Today's Monday, May 12th, 2025. I had a pretty good day today. Markets were pretty on fire today. I was talking to my family a little bit about this. We're a little torn, a little conflicted. I want maybe see what you guys think. The trade deal with China. Part of us is like we would rather do business with friendlier countries than China. China feels like they're trying to dominate the world right now, and I don't know if doing business with them and helping them build up their military is really the best idea. People want their cheap stuff though, and it's like, well, I mean, if we want cheap stuff, maybe the best idea is for us to have these factories and these production facilities down in Latin America. Have them down in Latin America, have them in Mexico, have them in Guatemala, have them in El Salvador, Honduras, these areas. And that does two things. Number one, it takes a little power away from China. Second thing, it gives people jobs down south of the border, so that maybe they'll stay in their home countries and continue to work there instead of feeling like they have to come here to the United States to have a decent quality of life. Um, to me, that just makes sense. So you guys tell me what you think about that, because I'm not real. I mean, part of the problem is that Wall Street and politicians have just salivated over China because of all the people there. But China's not even the most populous country anymore. India has a higher population than China does. Personally, I would rather let's try to access the Indian markets instead of China. I just the Chinese people I feel like are okay. The Chinese government I do not trust whatsoever. So that's kind of where we're at. Um, I feel like China needs a change in government before I would want us doing much business with them. That's just where I'm at. So anyway, I understand that we've allowed ourselves to be put into this little corner. We painted ourselves into this little corner where we need so many things from China. We could have diversified our supply chains around the world and not been so dependent on one country. But because of our stupid leaders and stupid business community, which I think they were naive as can be, they just saw the money. They didn't care. They just saw the dollar signs. Didn't care about anything else. That was it. And that's why we've helped the communist nation build a powerful military, causing all kinds of problems. We're going to have to start using our brains instead of our lust and greed a little bit more. I think that was a pretty critical error, unforced error on our part. The market again was up today. Gold came down. This might personally, my personal opinion, and I'm just I'm not giving financial advice here, but I think everyone should have a portion of their assets devoted to precious metals right now. I don't have a lot of confidence in fiat currency and in our currencies, any of the currencies, really, because the problem with currencies is that central banks can just print as much of it as they want, and they do. With physical assets like real estate, gold, silver, platinum, palladium, even agricultural commodities. I mean, agricultural commodities you can grow more, but it takes time to do that, and you have limited real estate in which to do that. Those are assets. They're not making any more land. You may have heard that quote before. You could also even look at. They're a little bit harder to grade, but even look at gemstones, diamonds, emeralds, sapphires, rubies. So many different hard assets that you can invest in. I am not a big believer in cryptocurrency. Some people are going to hate me for that, but I look at the big picture with crypto, and it's just like it's invisible. It's an invisible asset that's tied to a computer network. You're going to have a computer network in order to. If things got bad, I'm just like, personally, I want something that I can hold in my hand. I just don't have the confidence in that as much. Um, so I'm not a big believer in fiat currencies right now. I'm not a big believer in crypto. I'm more and more confident the best place to be is in physical hard assets, and that can be a number of things, not just the traditional ones. I think other things that you could consider buying, barter items. You could look at some of the things that people use to barter with are alcohol, cigarettes, coffee, all kinds of food staples. Certainly having firearms and ammunition at home, I think, is important. I have a few of those, so it's important. I think for everyone to be able to defend themselves. I think that we all need to have the ability to defend ourselves in the event things went south. You know, I didn't grow up around guns, believe it or not. I did grow up here in the South, but my family never owned guns growing up. Some of my extended family did, and I've learned a little bit from them. But I've kind of put my toe in. I've bought a few basic firearms, nothing fancy, but if I got into a pinch or something came up, I would have some means of self-defense, right? Also things like farming and gardening tools, I think are going to be important. There's a number of things that you could look into purchasing and holding for the long term, which I think will be important as time goes on. If I was a young person right now, I would also be looking to buy some land somewhere. Outside, I would have it at a decent distance from any major cities. I would probably recommend at least 30 or 40 miles away from any sizable town or city. I've been actually thinking a lot about that myself. I'm kind of getting to the point, though, it's like I'm almost 50, and that may or may not happen. I may wind up eventually, maybe when I retire, selling my current home and buying a home with a little bit more land to it. Of course, then when you own land, you have maintenance and everything. Unless you buy like wooded land, I might do that. We'll see what happens. But just some thoughts I've had. I think there are a lot of big structural changes that are going to be coming forward probably in the course of the next 10 to 25 years. As I prepare to exit and my kids are growing into adulthood, I think we're going to see some pretty massive changes in terms of the global economy. I worry about my daughter's futures just because the United States just doesn't feel like it's as strong as it once was. And the United States is what kind of guaranteed, we were kind of the guarantor of world peace. It's like we were the world policemen, and I don't think we can do that anymore. I think we're at a place where our country can no longer do that or fill that role, which makes things a little bit more nerve-wracking around the world. So hopefully the United States, we can strengthen again. I think part of it, people aren't having kids anymore. Americans are not having children. Most of the West is like that. Nobody in the West is having kids. The people that are having kids are the people that we have to worry about for the most part, which is not a good sign, not a good feeling. But Well, I guess we'll see how things go in the future, right? Um, I would stocks. Investing in businesses. I think it's going to be pretty volatile over the next 4 years. Trump is the type of leader that's going to try to get deals done, and he likes this volatility. This is what he kind of thrives on, and it's like markets usually like certainty. Markets like certainty, and Trump is anything but certain. So we'll just see how it plays out. I'm hoping that things do improve here in the United States. What my big hope is that we'll start getting a little more manufacturing back here in the United States. I'd really like to see us get some heavier industry, more cars, more machinery made here. I'd like to see us get our more pharmaceutical drugs made here. Trump was making these deals with the pharmaceutical drugs, so I'm hoping to see that some production of that will get brought back here to the United States. We'll see how all that plays out. But I'm a little tired. It's about my bedtime. This is about time I'm crashing. So I'm going to do my best to hit my goals this week. The weather is going to be kind of nasty this week. We're getting a lot of rain here right now. It's supposed to be raining for the next several days. I feel like I should have built an ark or something. It's like, so we're going to be, there's some flood warnings and things like that. So already some standing water out on the roads. I hit some of that while I was out there earlier. So anyway, you guys take care. Feel free to send me comments. Please subscribe, and I look forward to next time. You have a good evening.